And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your on-air host and author, Sara DiVello, and I am so excited to welcome back tonight best-selling author Jessie Q. Sutanto, live from Indonesia, here to give us the inside scoop on her brand new book, You Will Never Be Me. Jessie, welcome back to Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Tell us about this book.
Hi, Sarah. Oh my God. I am so happy to be back here. I am such a fan of yours and I love all of everything that you do. Yeah, we'll get into why I love Sarah so much. But anyway,
It's
so yeah, this is
mutual.
my this is my latest book, You Will Never Be Me. It's
Yeah.
about two momfluencers. I am obsessed with momfluencers. So of course I had to write a book about them. And so one of them started out really small at first, but then she overtakes the other one. And when she does, things go crazy and the friendship becomes more and more toxic. And, of course, there's a lot of shenanigans that happen.
Oh my God. Well, we are here for the shenanigans, and I cannot wait to delve into every delicious detail because we have a lot to talk about, Jessie. Oh my God, we have so much to talk about. But
Yes.
first, I just want to welcome everybody because we are broadcasting live to 7 different destinations across Facebook and
Wow.
YouTube. So, hey, mystery and thriller loving friends, no matter where you're watching from, you're in the right place. This is the right time. It is Mystery Monday, and because Mondays can be murder, we are going to get your week off to a killer start and make Mondays a little less painful. If you've been here before, you know the drill. And if you're new, welcome, friends. We're so happy to have you. Here's the drill. Every Monday, I give you my handpicked featured authors. So you get to ask them anything. So ask Jessie about these momfluencer characters. Who else is obsessed with mom influencers? Me. Um, Oh my God, I'm
Fun
so obsessed. Ask her about her writing process, which she talks a lot about on Instagram, writing books and, in 6 weeks and showing us the inner workings of her process. I love those videos. We have so much to talk about. And we're going to talk about this book because the last time Jessie was with us, we were talking about we were talking about Vera Wong's unsolicited
me.
advice for murderers. And
Mhm.
Jessie, this book is so different. So first of all, let's start there. Do you like writing the fun sort of
Mhm.
cozy, more of the of Dial for Aunties, Mrs. Wong, or do you like these psychological thrillers? Tell us what you prefer.
Mhm. So I much prefer reading psychological thrillers. Like I was whining to my agent the other day, like, why do people keep sending me cozy mysteries to blur? Because like I'm such a suspense fan. But like when I'm writing, I really love the humorous, like hijinks. Like I just find them really fun to write. But then, but like sometimes after I finish writing like a lighthearted thing, I'm like, okay, I'm in the mood for like some dark, twisted thing. And then after I write something like this, I'm like, wow, that was dark. I kind of need something more lighthearted. It's kind of like switching from savory to sweet and so on.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I love that analogy because I mostly love savory. Like I love popcorn and cheese and crackers and
Yes.
salty things. But then sometimes I'm like, I just really want some chocolate or
Yeah,
something really rare.
exactly.
That is such a
Yeah.
great analogy because when I read Vera Wong's unsolicited advice for murderers, I was just having a tough time. It was February. It was
Mm,
dark. It was
yeah.
cold. It was dark at 4 p.m. I was having the winter blues, and she was
Oh,
the
yeah.
balm that my battered little heart needed. And she was
Mm,
so funny and so joyful. And it was such a I love the murder and who done it, but she was so adorable, and I just loved her so much. And I laughed with her, and she warmed my heart. So I think that's such a great analogy. And now we're going to go to the twisty psychological stuff and talking about my other favorite thing, which is murderous influencers. Renee is joining us from Southeast Florida on Facebook. Hi, Renee. And she says, this
hi.
book sounds so fun. Oh my God, this sounds so fun. So as soon as I heard it was going to be about momfluencers, I was like, I have to get in there because I'm obsessed. So what do you love about them, Jessie?
Oh my God. So I guess because like the algorithm knows that I'm a mom, right? And so like it's just constantly showing me, mom content. And and at first, I was kind of like, yeah, oh great, like yet another way I'm being reminded that I'm failing as a mom, I'm not making like burgers from scratch, like literally the buns are from scratch and all that. But then I read this article and it was titled something like I'm leaving my wife because of aesthetics. And I know I read the title and I was like, oh my God, that's really mean. But then I read the actual article and I really empathized with the husband. He was saying like, I feel like I'm living in an aesthetic, like everything in our house is like catered towards like this aesthetic, like, the nude colors, the, like grays and like very muted pastels. And their daughter is not allowed any like plastic toys. It all has to be, the wooden, neutral colored toys and all that. And like everything, like you can't leave a glass of water on the table because it will ruin the
The aesthetic.
aesthetics of, yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh my God, I am obsessed. And then ever since I read that article, I've been watching these momfluencers with like a totally different understanding. I realized like, oh, it actually takes like so much effort to make your house look a certain way that's like very Instagram friendly. And then like it's weird because then I admire them more because of like the amount of hard work that they do. But then at the same time, I also feel like, oh my gosh, this is such an unhealthy environment, especially like for a mom. Like, my house is a mess, so I can't imagine like having that kind of standard. Yeah.
Oh my God, totally. So I am not a mom. I have opted out of momhood, but somehow
Yeah.
the algorithm serves me up the content as well because I think
What?
there's
That's so
something
messed
so
up.
right. But even like these trad wives, Sally Hepworth and I were
Mm-hmm.
talking about our mutual obsession over trad wives and Ballerina
Mm-hmm.
Farm, this New York
Oh
City
my God,
ballerina
I know.
who left
Yes.
her ballerina life at the New York City Ballet to
Yeah.
move to a farm and has 8 children and like milks
Oh
the
my God.
cows and churns
Yeah.
the butter and gathers eggs in her egg apron. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God. And there's
Yeah.
something so weirdly voyeuristically addictive. So when I read
Yeah.
that when Dashe pitched me your book, I was like, oh my God, yum, 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 yum. Send it to me right because there's also so much pressure for all of us, moms or not moms, to
Yes.
curate these
Mm-hmm.
perfect lives. And then the
Mm-hmm.
competition for, at the level of your characters, for
Yeah.
sponsorship or they're monetizing it. So this was such
Mm-hmm.
a juicy peek behind the curtain. So tell us about, did you have some momfluencers in mind? Did you talk to them? How did you tell us about this, Jesse?
So I didn't talk to any of them because I'm too scared. I
Yeah, they can
didn't want
they
to.
they could I that's probably a good idea, Jesse.
Yeah, I didn't want to like, because I knew that it was gonna be a suspense, so it's gonna get like really dark and like twisted, right? So I didn't
Right.
want to like talk to anyone and then have them be like, oh my God, this is what you turned my life story into, So I kind of I stayed away from that. But no, I follow like the big ones, like I mean, like Ballerina Farm, I definitely stole a couple of like her recipe ideas
Ooh.
for the book. And but yeah, the tread wives, I mean, oh my God, I'm like horrified the and yet like you just can't stop watching them, right?
I
I
can't
mean,
stop. It's addictive.
mm-hmm.
It's addictive. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Oh my God. John is joining us from Northeast Ohio. Hi, John. Welcome to the
Hi.
conversation. And Renee is saying, oh, that I am a mom. I'm a dog mom. Exactly. Exactly,
Oh,
Renee. Thank you. And Renee shared with me today that one of her four-legged babies passed. And so, Renee, I just want you to know
Oh.
I'm thinking of you, and we all are sending you our love. Because I know you're a dog mom too.
Mm.
Renee, thank you for being with us. Okay, Jesse, you share a lot of your writing process, which I love, on Instagram. And I feel like you're so open about it. Like you'll show yourself just pacing the hallway, pacing
Mhm.
the kitchen, having your cereal and thinking. And it's not like I sit down and this story poured out of me with ease. It's like, no, I'm pacing. Um,
Mhm.
so I have two questions. First of all, I'm assuming you're not a plotter then, or you are a plotter?
I am a plotter, so I pace
Okay.
when I am plotting.
So you're pacing back and
Yes.
forth and plotting, and then you write out your
Yes.
plot, and then you
Yes.
execute against the plot. Okay.
Mhm.
So when you decided to start sharing your behind the scenes peek, did you feel the pressure to make it aesthetic? Here I am in my beautiful office, with my
Mhm.
beautiful computer. Or were you like, no, I'm just going to be so open. And if it's messy, I don't care.
So, I did do a couple of things, which was I tidied up my table a little, and then the other thing that I definitely do is like I put on a bra because I don't know about you, but when I'm at home, I don't wear a bra.
Exactly. No,
But then I was
exactly.
like, okay, well, I should probably do that. But yeah, but the rest, you'll see me in like my messy bun, and it's not like a fashionable messy bun. It's like literally like this, and then um,
I mean, it
just
still
tied
looks
up
good.
like. Thank you. And there were days where it was really tough because I remember when I first started doing it, my 5-year-old, she was 4, I think, but she started having like separation anxiety. So then in the mornings, it was always such an ordeal getting her out of the house to go to like nursery school. Um, and I felt like a terrible mom. So there were like a couple of videos where you can tell, I'd been crying because I felt like a terrible mom because I
Oh,
just like got her out the door and then like just yeah, I feel very happy with how the videos turned out because I feel like okay, I was real. I didn't try to make things look too pretty. Um, so yeah.
well, I loved the one you did, which I was like, oh my God, this was totally inspired by these trad wives, where it's like, I
Mhm.
woke up and was craving a
Ah,
chocolate cake.
yeah,
So first I went out and grew the wheat, which I ground into
yeah,
flour, and then I grew the cacao nibs and I ground them
yes.
into
And then
chocolate
I
or whatever.
fermented them and dried them. Yeah,
Yeah, and then 12 days later, I had a cake. And
yeah.
so Jessie did this really funny thing where she was like, I was craving a fresh take on a psychological thriller. So, and then she basically does this riff on baking a cake or bread from scratch, but she's talking about creating a book. And I was like, oh my God, this is totally trolling with good humor, a
Yeah.
trad wife. And I was like, this is freaking brilliant. I loved it. I was like, let this become a trend. That was
Hmm.
so fun. Did you
Oh,
just
thank you so much.
so was it inspired by these trad wives?
Yeah, it was. But I had also seen like a lot of really fun videos of people kind of making fun of it. Like there was this one where she woke up and she was like, "Today my husband told me he was craving, freshly baked cookies." And so I went all the way outside and I looked in the trash and I looked under the rock, and I just could not find where he got the audacity.
Oh my God, I haven't seen that. That is hilarious.
So good.
Oh my God. Julie, welcome to the conversation saying, I love books about influencers, and this was a great one.
Oh,
I
thank you.
Oh yay, I love this too. Jane, welcome to the conversation. She wants to know what is the name of those influencers. So do you I think you mean in real life or in Jesse's book, Jane, let us know. But in real life, we're talking about these sometimes Mormon
Hmm.
wives who, so there's one called Ballerina Farm. I can't think of some of the other ones. But
Yeah.
There's like the
Oh
Amish
God.
ones, which is kind of
Yeah.
interesting, where they're
But
like,
if you just like if you put in tradwife in the search box, you'll come up, with a lot of hits.
probably more than you ever want.
Yeah. Tread carefully.
Tread carefully. Oh my God, I love
Yeah.
it. Elizabeth, welcome to the conversation. Says, hi, ladies. Nice to see you back, Sarah. Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm so happy to be back after your 2 week break. I'm kicking off with my girl, Jessie. She must know, Jessie, have you ever taken any advice from a momfluencer? Ooh,
Ooh. So I don't know if she counts as a momfluencer, and I can't even like remember her name, but she's into, like gentle parenting, which I am not because I am a Chinese mom and I have let go. I've like made peace with the fact that I will never be a gentle parent. But at one point, and this was especially true for when my 4-year-old had the separation anxiety. Um, but I saw this video where she was like, oh, when kids are throwing a tantrum or having a meltdown, it's not because they want like, they're just like doing it to punish you or whatever. Like it's not about you. It's because
okay.
they need comfort during that time. So like you don't have to give in to them. Like, if they want candy or whatever, you're not letting them, but you should still like comfort them and be like, I understand your frustration, but like still no candy. Like don't give in, but just be like, um, understand that like they're trying to process their emotions and their little bodies. Yeah, so I actually took that advice and I found it really helpful. That was like the only advice I've taken.
I liked how Jessie shared the other day that when her first kid lost a tooth, she put out little fairy footprints, and
Oh my
like,
God, I
there was
know.
a little note, and then there was like, the money under the pillow. Now kid two gets like $20 and that's it.
Yeah. Well, she gets the equivalent of like $3. That's
Exactly. That
it.
no fairy footprints for
Nope.
number two. No, that was so
No.
I was laughing. Oh my God, so funny. Jesse, I want to talk about some of the praise this book is getting because it is just blowing up, which is so exciting and so fantastic. So let's kick off with this quote I loved from People magazine. I'm gonna pop it up so you
Mhm.
can all read it together. Once best friends, two momfluencers in this searing black comedy compete so greedily for sponsors and popularity that they destroy their relationship and may stop at nothing to stay on top. Read this instead of doom scrolling. I loved seeing it in People. I loved seeing you featured in People. I loved seeing your book featured in People, and I loved this review because it captures how sort of fun and dark and just what an
Mhm.
enjoyable read this is. That was so fun. And they are not the only ones raving. Elle magazine also weighing in with some incredible praise. I'm going to pop this one up too, saying a juicy electric thriller, which I thought was so
Ooh.
perfectly descriptive, about a pair of warring mom influencers. Just imagine the drama. You Will Never Be Me is the kind of read in one sitting story tailor made for a summer weekend. Hilariously wicked. This is a book social media addicts will relish. I am a social media addict and I am
I know, me
relishing
too.
it. Yay. You guys, the book is out now and you can order it from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. That is Murder by the Book. So whether you're watching with us on Facebook or YouTube or in one of our private Facebook groups, here is that link that you can click and get your mitts on this electric and thrilling book, as Elle magazine said. Okay, Renee wants to know, Jesse, did you come up with the title?
Yes, I did. I'm so proud of it. Because I'm pretty terrible with titles, but I've gotten better at it. So like the aunties books, like Dial A for Aunties, Four Aunties and a Wedding. Like I did not come up with any of those titles. I'm not good with those. I'm pretty good with like suspense titles, so I'm
What
proud of
about
it.
Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice?
Yeah, that one I think I came up with too. But it's like
I
pretty
love
like I can't do puns. So and the auntie's titles are all like kind of in that. territory. So, but otherwise, I'm okay.
Renee saying, "Yay!" Exactly, yay! It is so great because not you don't always get to do that. So,
No.
yeah, so that is so great. That is so great to know. Was it your first? Was it your first? Is that what you submitted it with, Jesse?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yay! Oh, I love that. Robin is saying that she thought you were going to say that you took that gentle mom advice, dot, 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 and threw it in the trash. I also thought that's the direction we were going. She was like, "No mercy," like Cobra Kai. Hey, Sensei. I've been watching Cobra Kai lately. Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, let's talk about that starred review from Kirkus. Congratulations on that, Jesse. A starred review from Kirkus. Let's take a peek at what they had to say. I'm going to pop that up so we can all read it together as well. They said, having established her credentials in YA fiction and gentle, funny they should use that word. Albeit often manic comedy, Sutanto spins on a dime to show Meredith and Aspen dishing on each other with sublime and incandescent hatred. Social media mavens, hello, you're hearing here on Mavens, will nod in recognition. Everyone else will come away relieved that this could never happen to them. What an incredible review. And that star from Kirkus.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so nice from Kirkus because I am terrified of Kirkus.
Oh my God, we're all terrified of Kirkus. And guess what, you guys? They weren't the only ones to award Jesse a star. Book Page also awarding Jesse a star. And they praised your truly twisty, unexpected plot. So I'm going to pop that up as well so we can take a peek at it. They said the unexpected plot will hook readers, even those who don't find either of its main characters particularly likable. It hardly matters, as both are absolutely fascinating. The eventual confrontation between Meredith and Aspen is shocking and brilliantly executed. The crowning achievement of this truly unforgettable read. Start review. Now, without giving anything away, let's talk about that brilliantly executed ending. So, as a plotter, did you know how this was going to end from the beginning, Jesse?
Yeah, so when I first started writing, I was a pantser. And
Writing this book
I
or any of the books?
no, like when I just first writing any book,
Okay.
my first ever book, it was pants. And so, because I was still learning, how to go about things, and it was uh like in the end, I had like such a huge mess, right? It took like about 8 books for me to kind of learn like, okay, I need to plot, like start learning how to outline books. And it's funny because like I watch interviews with authors and then they say stuff like, oh, my like some I have an outline, but then sometimes my characters just do whatever they want to do. But my
What?
characters don't because again, I'm a Chinese mom. They listen to me. Like I have like a 7-page outline and they listen to like every freaking like plot point. So I usually like I always know how it's going to end. I might not know exactly like what the epilogue scene, would be like. That's the only time when like the characters can kind of like take the reign and have a little bit of fun, but it's an epilogue, so it's only like 1,000 words or something.
Jesse, thank you for bringing that up because that is something
Mhm.
I've always wondered about and wrestled with too, where it's like, oh, yes, the characters talk to me and I had this plan, but
Mhm.
they took it over. And I'm literally like,
Yeah.
am I the only one who's wondering what the F you're talking
Yeah.
about? Like,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, I don't want to have an emperor has no clothes kind of situation, but
Yeah.
like, I'm seeing no clothes because if and maybe it's because I'm an Italian woman, so people do what my characters do what I say too.
Yeah.
But like, what are they talking about? Because if you have the plot, why aren't they following the plot? Why, Jesse?
Yeah. Because sometimes like I write and then I kind of get carried away and I sense them like veering away from the plot, and I'm like, no, that does not happen. And then like I kind of like yank them back, you know, ruthlessly, kicking and screaming, and I'm like, you stick to this.
Right. And they do, but because and
Mhm.
they do because they know who the boss is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, Jane. Jane saying, I missed you, Sarah. Oh, Jane, I missed you too. I'm so
Oh,
happy to be back. I took my first break in 4.5 years. I took 2 weeks off,
wow.
and tonight is my first night back. So I'm so
Oh,
excited to be
wow.
diving back in with
Did you
you.
go somewhere?
I went to Nantucket and I launched the Children's Book
Wow.
Festival for the Nantucket Book Foundation. So we launched a children's festival
Wow.
on Saturday, which was amazing. And
Mhm.
then I took some time off, and it just was so great. So and
Oh,
now
that's
I'm so happy to be
amazing.
back. Yay! And now I'm so happy to be back with you. Um,
Mhm.
this is so fun. Okay, I did want to talk about one more review, which is Publishers Weekly, which said that noted that Sutanto has devilish fun. Oh, Renee saying, well deserved, Sarah. Thank you so much, Renee. I appreciate that. I love this because they said Sutanto has devilish fun because I think part of the reasons that I would say that it's always fun to read your books. Do you have fun writing them? Is that what makes them fun? What makes them fun?
So when I'm writing like the more lighthearted stuff, like Vera Wong, then what makes it fun is like, you know, the humor. Like sometimes I'm like smiling while I'm writing it, and that's always like really, really fun. And then with something like You Will Never Be Me, like what's fun is like the unhingedness of it. Like when my editor read it, she called it bonkers. And I was just like, yay! That's
So
what
when
I was aiming for.
so when she said when she said bonkers, you were like, yes, I've made it. You weren't
Yeah.
like, oh, I've gone too far.
No, 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 no. I was like, yes, that was what I was aiming for.
Well, I love that because here they say that you lacquering the story's well-executed twist with with a satirical sheen that pokes wicked
Mhm.
fun at internet celebrity. The result is a near perfect beach read. But I think what I took away from the book is that yes, the book is devilishly fun. It is all these things. And it's also through humor pointing out the ridiculousness
Mhm.
that of the world that we live in, that we have created
Mhm.
with this influencer, led world.
Yeah.
So there's also
Yeah.
a deeper social commentary while you're having fun, while
Mhm.
you're laughing, while you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this. This is, as your editor said, bonkers. But you're also like,
Mhm.
this world is kind of crazy that we live in
Oh
here.
yeah, totally. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Randy, welcome to the conversation saying, we missed you, Sarah. So glad you're back. I missed you guys. I'm so happy to be
Oh.
back. Thank you so much. And the other one that I wanted to take a look at here is Mystery and Suspense Magazine, saying they highly recommend to fans of suspense thrillers and anyone curious about the world of social media influencers. I mean, the raves just keep going, and I'm going to put them all in the comments, you guys,
Oh.
so that everybody can read them at their leisure. But what, Jesse, I also wanted to ask you, had you planned to take a devilish look at the world of, were you like, this world's getting a little crazy, I'm gonna have to like I want to address this in my book, or just popped, this was just an idea that came to you sort of more spur of the moment?
So I came up with the twist first. So without like spoiling
Yes, no
anything,
spoiling.
I watched a certain okay, it was Westworld. I watched Westworld
I never
years and
seen
years ago,
it. Okay.
and I was like, oh my God, my mind is blown. I want to do something like I can't say too much because I don't want to, you know, spoil it. But like it took years for me to kind of, you know, for my mind to kind of like gently poke at it until like an idea came about. And I remember I was like, what should these women do? And at first I thought maybe models, maybe they could be models, but then I was like,
Ooh.
what? Like I know nothing about modeling. And but I was talking to my good friend Lori Elizabeth Flynn,
Uh-huh.
who was actually a supermodel, and she was like, "Oh, you can always come to me, for any like insider info and all that." And but then in the end, we were kind of like brainstorming, and we both thought, "Oh, you know what would be really fun is influencers because they're just like everywhere now, right?" So, and that was when I was like, yes, I need to do something about influencers.
Although, Jesse, do seem to remember that Fashion TV featured you at Thriller Fest last year in that gorgeous dress that you were wearing. So I think you do have a tiny bit of experience modeling as the
Oh,
best,
thank you so much.
as one of the most gorgeous and best dressed people at Thriller Fest in New York City last year, if my memory serves, which it
Oh
does.
my God. So I'm so glad that you brought up Thriller Fest because I've just been like telling everyone, who would listen, like what a kind and just amazingly gracious and generous person you are. And that's why I love Sarah because like she was the one who got me to Thriller Fest. Without her, I would not have been able to go. And yeah, it was just like out of the kindness of her heart. Oh, Sarah, like yeah, I just cannot thank you enough.
Oh my God, Jesse. Okay, now I'm gonna cry. That is so, so, so lovely. Thank you so much. That is beyond lovely and generous. It means so much to me. But I got you there because you deserve to be there because you're amazing and brilliant
Oh,
and
thank
talented.
you.
And you are such an incredible writer and a best-selling author. And everybody loves you and loves your books. And it was so incredible to have you come to Thriller Fest. And you guys, Jesse was on a panel with R.L. Stein himself, the
How
creator
crazy is
of
that?
Goosebumps. R.L. Stein and Jesse on a
Oh my
panel.
God.
And it was so
Amazing.
amazing. Yes. And it was so
Yeah.
fabulous to have you there. And you deserve to be there. So we were
Oh, thank
so,
you.
so, so, so happy to have you there. And I hope you'll be able to come back because we absolutely love
Yeah.
having you. You guys, the praise just keeps coming. Again, I'm dropping all of these in there into the comments, but Geneva Rose, a New York Times best-selling author, had incredible praise saying, You will never be me as an ultra twisty, unpredictable, devilishly fun thrill ride exploring the dark side of influencer culture. Prepare to be shocked and wildly entertained by this gripping and addictive thriller. Jesse Susanto is a true talent, and I could not agree more. May Cobb also weighing in with praise, and Laurie Elizabeth Flynn as well. I'm putting all of these in the comments so you can read them because they just keep going. They said prepare to put everything else on hold because this is wildly twisty, ridiculously entertaining thrill ride of a book that you will not be able to put down. Renee is clapping for you and giving you so many hearts. Yes, thank you so much,
Oh,
Renee.
thank
And the
you.
incredible May Cobb, who I was just hanging out with last week at her book launch in New York, also saying, you will never be me as Jessie Q. Sutanto at her most bingeable and demonic yet. And I was like,
I
my
love that so much.
I love that so much. I was like, that is so true. You guys, the book is out now, and you can grab it from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. That is Murder by the Book. And whether you're watching with us on Facebook or YouTube or anywhere that you're watching with us, here again is that link so that you can get your mitts on this devilish thrill ride that is just wowing everybody. Here is that link. Jessie Q. Sutanto, thank you so much for joining us again. It has been a pleasure to chat with you, my friend, and to hear all about your latest book. And I'm going to let you get back to your writing and pacing and plotting your next but please do come back when the next book is out.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me, Sarah. I mean, I am such a big fan of yours and your beautiful book as well. I have been recommending it to anyone who is, looking for a good read. And I'm always like, I always kind of like update it for the seasons. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's like the perfect summer book. Or, but if it's in the spring, then I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly what you need for springtime reading.
And you're like, oh wait, and now it's oh, are you feeling you
Yeah,
now it's spooky
yeah.
season?
Do you want to curl up like next to the fire? This is the perfect like fireplace book.
Oh my God, I love that. Oh, Jesse, thank you so much. Renee saying you made my night. Oh, Renee, we loved having you
Oh,
here. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of you for spending your Monday night with us. It is so good to be back. And I will see you next Monday for Mystery Monday because you know Mondays can be murder. And Jesse Q Sutanto, get back to that writing because we've got to have you on again ASAP. All right, y'all. That is a wrap for us. I hope the rest of your days and pages fly by, and I will see you next Monday. Be well and take care. Until then.